What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie, and today we're gonna take a little stroll down something unusual. I'm gonna talk about my pitfalls as a YouTuber. I don't typically talk about this a lot, but I thought, you know what? I share everything good. I might as well share some not so good things that I struggle with as well. And I do have some pitfalls as a quote unquote person who makes YouTube videos. I don't want to call myself a YouTuber because I don't live off of YouTube. Sure, it makes me a little bit that I put back into like buying pens, but it's not even like, it would be like working, 2 shifts a month. Like it doesn't really make any money. And so yeah, there are some pitfalls to me putting videos out on the internet. And the first one is one that didn't exist immediately. It kind of grew over time, and I've realized, especially in the last 2 years, especially the last 2 years, it's gotten even harder and harder. And that is responding to you guys. So I get a bunch of comments on every video. I'll get emails, I'll get messages on Instagram. I don't know how, but somehow somebody got my phone number. I'm not sure how that happened, but that was really weird. And I don't have the time to respond to all of you because, it's like I said, it's not my job to do this. I do it because I love it, and I'm going to continue to do it. Everything I'm going to say here, yes, I got a wicked pimple. Everything I'm going to say here, just know that like it's not stopping me from doing it. It's just reality. And that is, yes, sometimes I don't have the time, and sometimes I don't have the mental energy to do it. So I do work full-time job. And like most of yourselves, I'm sure by the time you come home from work, you're exhausted. You just want to turn your brain off and go to sleep. So yeah, sometimes I just don't have the mental energy or the time to respond to all the comments. And I do read pretty much all of them. And for the most part, they are somewhat repetitive. They're all general themed ones. And that makes sense because they're just common questions. But I do feel bad. I do feel bad that a lot of times questions go unanswered, which is why I am so grateful when you guys answer each other's questions, because then that takes a little bit off of my plate. I try and respond to as many as I can, but sometimes I just can't. And it's sort of that like, I feel obligated to respond, but sometimes I just can't. And I'm slowly starting to learn my limits as I continue to do this, as my videos start to gain a little bit more views than they used to in the past. When I used to get like, a dozen or so comments on each video, no emails, no really like Instagram messages, things like that, I would respond to all of them because I could do them, all in like, 10, 15 minute span. Whereas now I can't really do that. So I do feel bad, but that is something that I'm sort of trying to balance, which leads me into my second thing, something I have gotten actually a lot better with, but still do sometimes struggle with, is like, kind of hateful comments. There's a difference between like a constructive criticism comment and just like a mean comment. And if it's just like flat out mean and there's no like constructive criticism, there's no like actual feedback there, then usually I'll just delete those comments because I don't have the place, the energy, or want just straight up negativity on my channel. And again, like I'm very picky, like I don't delete them often. It's just if it literally is straight up hateful garbage, and then I'll delete it. Most of the time I don't really take it to heart anymore, but sometimes it creeps in. I'm human. And as thick as my skin has gotten in the 32 years that I've been alive, stuff still does creep in. So that I'm getting better at, but still hits me hard sometimes. So it's a little bit of a downfall of putting videos out as well. The third thing that I'm not very good at is staying, like, playing the game, essentially, like playing the YouTube game. There are a ton of analytics that you can comb through, you can read, you can get involved in, you can play the analytic games, and I'm sure I would get way more views if I did. But going back to the very first point is I don't have the mental energy to do that. I'm sure if I wanted to make this my career, I would do that. I would invest in that. I would promote myself more, because I don't. When I post a video, I don't even often post it on Instagram that I posted one. I just don't have the time. I make the videos because I love them, and I figure at this point, enough people will see it where if, you know, like it's gonna make an impact somewhere. You know, and I just don't want to play the game. I don't want to study analytics. I don't want to have to change what I'm doing every few months to fit the analytics. I just don't want to hustle that game. I don't want to. I don't have an interest in doing that. Like I said, I don't make a living off of this. So, you know, I can understand the people that want to make a living off of it trying to play the game, but it's just not for me. And I recognize that I could probably double what I'm doing. The views that I'm getting, the comments I'm getting, the interactions, all this kind of stuff. You'd be shocked how much, like, liking a video, like putting a thumbs up, putting a comment, you'd be shocked actually at how much that actually does help push my content further. But other than asking you to, that's literally it in a video. Like, you know, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. That's literally all I am willing to put out there, because I don't want to play the game. And as a viewer, you know, if somebody tells me to like it or subscribe or whatever, it doesn't have any more of an inclination to me. Like, I'm not more likely to like the video or subscribe if I wasn't already going to do that. I'm sure there are people who can be swayed that way, but I am not one of them, and I don't want to play that game. It's too stressful. I have enough anxiety in my life that I don't need that. I really, really, really don't. The next thing that I'm sure I could get better at, which also plays into kind of the last point and the first one, is that, as you can tell, I don't put a crazy amount of time into making these videos, in the sense that I don't have jump cuts every 10 seconds. I don't have, you know, a million multiple angles. I don't have fancy lighting. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know, like people like Brian Goulet, Tom Otto, like all these people, they make a living off of this. Goulets don't even monetize their videos, which I think is great, because they see the value of making these videos great, because they have a company to put behind that. They have a team of people that they put behind that. They're building a customer base. You know, it's part of their business, which is fantastic. And the way that they help people is just magnifique. I would not be where I am at if I did not have all of Goulet Pen's Fountain Pen 101 series. I would not be here, because that series taught me my entire foundation as a fountain pen user. So I'm super grateful for that, and I realize that their videos look amazing. You know, Matt from the Pen Habit, before he left, his videos looked amazing. Fig Boot on Pens, his videos look amazing. I do not have the time, the energy, the money, or the drive to put that much into these videos. I have all my heart in these videos. That is what I can bring. That is what I can bring to the table. My words, the content that is coming out of the pie hole, is what I have to bring to these videos. If I were to put that much extra effort into it, I see no return. And by that I mean, if I spend 1 hour filming and 2 hours editing, because usually however long the video you see, it takes double that amount of time to edit the video. So if it's a 10-minute video, which we're basically at right now, it took me 20 minutes to edit it. If I were to double that, if I were to put an hour into filming, but just one video, between setting up all that stuff, speaking for 15 minutes, and then taking all that stuff down, then if I were to go into like fancy editing and have multiple different video formats and different sound bites and all of this stuff, like, that's not going to change the amount of views that I get. That's not going to change the amount of feedback that I get from you guys. The interaction from you guys is not going to change really. Would it maybe get me an extra like 100 or so views? Possibly. But the return on that investment would not be worth it. Again, if I were wanting to make this more of a living, 100% it would be worth it. Like if you watch Emmy over at Penn Venture, he's putting a phenomenal amount of investment into his videos because he's trying to grow a business. I am not. I do these videos on one of my days off a week from my full-time job, and I have no desire to make it more than that. Would it be cool if it did? Sure. Would it be cool if I quadrupled my subscribers and I quadrupled the amount of money that I get from YouTube? Sure. Then okay, I can maybe see putting a little bit more investment in it, but I don't see that happening. The few videos that I have spent an enormous amount of money and time and energy and mental effort into have not been any different than the other videos that I make. So for me, my heart and my content is more important than the production value of my videos. And I recognize that there are some people who care about it as far as viewers go, and I appreciate very much the hard work that people do to put in a high production value. I know that I would stop making videos if that's what was required. So that's why I don't play the YouTube game. I don't play, the comment game, the production value game, because I'm always going to be behind. You can't win. As soon as you start to play the game, it's gonna change on you. The rules change. I just wanna make videos that I wanna make. And if you watch them, great. And if you don't, you don't. It just is what it is. Especially in 2020, 2021, with just the way that the world's at, the way that like my own mental health is at, it takes a lot to even just make these videos. So I don't put a ton behind that. So there's a lot that I could be better at with YouTube. There's a lot that I could be better at with making these videos for you all. And the only one really that gets me is the fact that I can't respond to all of your comments. That one really does bother me, but I have to balance my life with the content and what I can and cannot do. Stephen Brown, I think, talked about this a long time ago. I don't remember what video it is, but I think somebody asked him, like, why does he film, it all on like low quality stuff? Like, why doesn't he put way more in? And that's sort of the sentiment he gave. Now he puts out a lot more content even than I do. And kudos to him because he makes amazing videos. And he's been doing this a heck of a lot longer than I have as well. So like, I get it now. I understand it now. And I also get why Matt Armstrong from the Pen Habit left. It's a lot of work. Even just doing this is a lot of work. But I genuinely enjoy it. And when I can get in the comment section, I can get in the comment section of Instagram, or when I can have these conversations, it's worth it. It really is. It just takes a lot. So there's a lot that I could do better, but there's also a lot that I know I could do better, but I won't, because I just won't see the return on investment, and it's more likely to make me not put out content at all. I would love to have a team behind me. I'd love to have somebody film these, edit these, and all this kind of stuff, and me just be like the star. But that's not a reality. I spend one day a week making a bunch of videos, editing a bunch of videos, coming up with content for a bunch of videos. And then the other day, I do everything else that I need to do in my life. So I think I've struck a good balance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think I've struck a good balance. So this has been a strange video. It really, really has. Typically I don't talk about like the things that I could do better, the things I don't like about, YouTube or myself, but I think it's good to put it out there every once in a while. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. And then I'm gonna do the YouTuber thing and be like, yo, like this video if you liked it. Hit the subscribe if you like it but wanna see more every Monday and Friday. And the rare Q&A on Tuesdays. And guys, if you're still watching 16.5 minutes in, I very, very much appreciate you. You are the reason I make these videos. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.